Do you actually know what your cat is trying to tell you? Not the obvious stuff, not the meowing for food or the knocking things off tables, the quiet stuff, the daily stuff you've probably been misreading your entire life. Most people assume that if their cat is fed, warm, and occasionally petted, the cat feels loved. But here's what nobody tells you. Love, in cat language, looks nothing like what you think it does. And by point 7, you'll discover one thing your cat does every single day, something so subtle, so quiet, that most owners never once notice it. But once you understand it, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. Here's the thing. There's also one greeting ritual. We'll get to it in point 5, that you've probably been skipping your whole life without knowing it, and every time you skip it, your cat notices. If you've been misreading these signals, you might have been missing the most important things your cat has ever tried to say to you. This isn't about treats. This isn't about expensive toys or elaborate routines. It's about 7 small things you can do today. Things that speak directly to the part of your cat's brain that understands one word above all others. Safe. That's what your cat is always asking. Not, do you feed me? Not, do you play with me? But, are you someone I can trust with my whole self? And the answer you give, without even realizing it, happens in the tiniest moments. The way you speak, the way you blink, the way you simply exist in the same room. 7 things. Daily. That's all it takes. Let's start with the one that makes you sound completely ridiculous, and why that's exactly the point. 1. The voice. Why your cat only truly hears you when you sound ridiculous. Have you ever caught yourself talking to your cat in that voice? You know the one. High-pitched, slightly embarrassing, the voice you'd never use around other adults. Most people think their cat tolerates it, like it's background noise, something the cat politely endures while waiting for dinner. But here's what most people don't realize. That voice isn't embarrassing. It's the only frequency your cat's brain is hardwired to trust completely. A 2022 study from the University of Paris found that cats distinguish their owner's voice from a stranger's with 79% accuracy. But here's the part that changes everything. They respond nearly 40% more when that voice is higher in pitch. Not because they're trained to, because that sound is ancient. It's the sound of their mother. It's the first sound that ever meant, you are safe. When you use that ridiculous voice, you're not being silly. You're speaking the oldest language your cat knows. Think about that for a second. One owner shared that her cat, normally aloof, never a lap cat, would walk across the entire apartment and sit beside her the moment she started talking in that soft, high tone. Not when she called his name normally, not when she rattled the food bag. Only then. Your cat isn't responding to your words. They're responding to what your voice feels like. The best part is just getting started. Drop your city in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And when it feels like warmth, like safety, like home, they come. They're telling you, that sound means I don't have to be on guard anymore. And hey, we'll get to what happens when you combine that voice with something even smaller, even quieter, in point 2. It's a 3-second signal, and most people do it completely wrong their whole lives. You sound ridiculous. That's exactly why they believe you. 2. The blink. The 3-second signal that tells your cat you're safe. Have you ever locked eyes with your cat and felt like something was happening, but you weren't sure what? Most people assume a cat staring at you is a dominance thing, a challenge, something vaguely unsettling. So they look away, break the moment, move on. That's exactly the wrong move. Here's what most people don't realize. In cat language, a direct stare between strangers is a threat, but a slow, deliberate blink? That's the opposite. That's a white flag. That's a cat choosing to make themselves vulnerable in front of you. A 2020 study from the University of Sussex found that slow blink exchanges between cats and their owners increased positive affiliative behavior in 45% of test interactions. The cats didn't just respond, they initiated the blink back. They were answering. And no, this has nothing to do with them being sleepy. This is a conscious signal, a tiny 3-second act of courage. One owner described the first time she tried it deliberately with her rescue cat, a cat that had spent months hiding under the bed. She sat across the room, made soft eye contact, and blinked slowly. The cat stared, then blinked back, then walked over and sat beside her for the first time ever. 3 seconds. That's all it took. Your cat is telling you, __quote_5___ tonight, try this. Find your cat. Let your eyes meet softly. Then blink. Slowly, like you have all the time in the world. Then wait. What happens next might be the quietest conversation you've ever had. And if you think that's the most vulnerable thing your cat can offer you, don't skip point 4. What happens when you simply sit in silence together goes even deeper than this. 3 seconds. That's the whole language. And hey, if this is already making you see your cat differently, hit that like button and subscribe. That's how we reach more people who actually want to understand their cats on a deeper level. It genuinely matters. 3. The hunt. Why real play is the most loving thing you can do. Be honest. When did you last really play with your cat? Not dangle something half-heartedly while scrolling your phone. Actually play. Most people think play is just entertainment, something to burn off energy, a nice extra when you have time. But here's the thing. For your cat, play isn't optional. It's biological. It's survival level necessary. And when you're the one who provides it, you become something far more important than a food source. Researchers at UC Davis found that just 10 minutes of structured daily play measurably reduces cortisol levels in domestic cats. That's the stress hormone. 10 minutes. And the cortisol doesn't just dip during play, it stays lower for hours afterward. But here's what makes this about love and not just exercise. Cats are hardwired to complete a full predatory cycle: stalk, chase, catch, kill. When that cycle never finishes, their nervous system stays stuck, wound up, waiting, chronic low-level stress that never resolves. When you play with them all the way to the end, when you let them catch the toy, you're giving their brain the resolution it's been waiting for. One owner noticed her cat had been waking her up at 3 a.m. for months. She started doing one focused 10-minute wand session every night before bed. Within a week, the 3 a.m. visits stopped completely. Your cat wasn't being difficult. They were asking for something only you could give. Tonight, try this. 10 minutes. A wand toy. Let them catch it at the end. Watch how they settle afterward. That stillness? That's not tiredness, that's relief. They're not playing with a toy. They're trusting you with their wildness. 4. The presence. How doing nothing together builds everything. Have you ever noticed your cat following you from room to room, not asking for anything, just being near? Most people assume that means the cat wants something. Food, attention, playtime, so they reach down to pet them, or they talk to them, or they feel guilty for not engaging more. But here's what most people don't realize. Sometimes your cat isn't asking for anything. They're giving you something. Their presence, without demand, is one of the highest forms of trust a cat can offer. Feline ethology researchers have found that cats in bonded relationships actually synchronize their calm states with their owners. When you're relaxed, their cortisol levels drop to match yours. Not because they're trained to mirror you, because your stillness tells their nervous system that the environment is safe. You become the signal. You are literally their emotional anchor. Remember earlier when I mentioned that your voice speaks to the part of your cat's brain that understands safe? This is what I was talking about. It's not just sound. It's your whole presence, the way you breathe, the way you simply exist without urgency. One owner described sitting on her couch reading, not interacting with her cat at all, when she looked down and realized her cat had been pressed against her leg for over an hour. She hadn't noticed. Her cat had chosen that moment, that stillness, and stayed there the entire time. Your cat wasn't waiting for you to do something. They were doing something. They were choosing you as their safe place. They're telling you, quote, 8. Tonight, try this. Sit on the floor near your cat. No phone, no reaching out. Just exist beside them. Don't do anything. See what they do next. You don't have to do anything. Just don't leave. 5. The nose, the greeting ritual. You've been skipping your whole life. Have you ever come home, walked through the door, and had your cat trot over, then just stop, right in front of you, waiting, like they're expecting something specific? Most people reach down and pet them on the head, or they say hello in that voice, or they just walk past because they're carrying groceries and they're tired and the cat can wait. But here's the thing. Your cat wasn't just coming to say hi. They were initiating a greeting ritual, an ancient one, and every time you skip it, it's like someone extends their hand for a handshake and you just walk away. In the wild, cats greet trusted companions nose to nose. It's how they confirm identity, how they say, "You're still one of mine." Feline behavioral researchers have documented that nose-touch greetings between bonded cats occur within 30 seconds of reunion, almost without exception, and when that greeting happens, it triggers an oxytocin release in both animals. That's the bonding hormone, the same one humans release when they hug someone they love. Your cat is walking to the door to bond with you, chemically, deliberately. Remember earlier when I said there's a greeting ritual you've probably been skipping your whole life? This is exactly what I was talking about. Here's what you do. Next time your cat approaches you at the door, crouch down, extend one finger, just one, at their nose level. Don't push it toward them. Just offer it. Let them come to you. Most cats will touch it with their nose immediately. Some will rub their cheek along it. That's not cute. That's a formal greeting between equals. One owner started doing this every single evening. Within 2 weeks, her cat began waiting at the door before she even put her key in the lock. They're telling you, you came back. We're still us. They're not being cute. They're asking if you still belong to each other. 6. The sleep. Why walking past your cat is an act of love. Have you ever noticed where your cat chooses to sleep? Not just in general. Specifically. Night after night. Which room? Which corner? How close to you? Most people think it's random. Warmth, comfort, a soft surface. Cats are just practical, right? They find the coziest spot and claim it. But here's what most people don't realize. Where your cat sleeps is not random at all. It's a trust map. And you are the landmark everything is oriented around. Researchers studying feline sleep behavior found that cats spend up to 16 hours a day sleeping. And in bonded households, they consistently choose rest spots within close proximity to their primary human. Not because those spots are warmer, because proximity to you lowers their resting heart rate. Your presence, even your sleeping presence, is a biological safety signal their body responds to automatically. Think about what that means. Even when you're unconscious, even when you're doing nothing, your cat's nervous system is using you as proof that everything is okay. And no, this has nothing to do with body heat. This is ancient. This is hardwired. In the wild, resting near a trusted companion means you don't have to stay fully alert. You can actually rest. Your cat sleeps deeply near you because you've made them feel safe enough to be vulnerable. So, when you walk past your sleeping cat without disturbing them, when you step carefully, when you let them be, that's not indifference. That's respect. That's you honoring the trust they've placed in your space. They're telling you, I can close my eyes here because you're here. Next time you see your cat curled up nearby, don't wake them. Just notice. Notice that out of every place they could have chosen, they chose somewhere close to you. And what happens in that sleep, what your cat does in those quiet hours when you're not watching, that's what Point 7 is about. And it might be the most moving thing in this entire video. They chose the spot closest to you. That's not coincidence.